It's Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports. It's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports. Time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show for a special Monday show this week, Papa Dude. We've got NCAA tournament action right now, and we've got to get this show out and get it to the masses because we're starting it up on Thursday. How excited are you for this show?
Oh, this is one of the most fun ones. I mean, every year, all of the United States fills out a bracket, and I think it gets harder every year.
I do too. Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. I've got some shaky opinions in some of these games, some stronger opinions in others. So I think that it'll be real fun to go through this. Before we start, and I'll plug it again a little bit later on in the show as well, there is a free bracket pool for the Racing Dudes that you can join right now and play. Go to our Twitter account. It's the first tweet. It's pinned up on the top of our Twitter account. It's a link where you can join the Racing Dudes Bracket Challenge. Free to play, free to enter, a lot of bragging rights involved. And also the winner of the whole thing does get a Racing Dudes swag bag. So there's a lot to play for, Papa Dude. I know last year we had 109 people.
Yeah.
Just looking today, looks like we've got about 36 signed up already. So that's a good sign.
We want to beat 109. That's what we're going for. And we don't want to have to fill up 5 brackets ourselves to beat the 109, right? So get on there and have fun. We had a ball with it last year, and it went down to the wire just like it always does. And it was a lot of fun.
Let's see. Dennis has wanted me to pin it on the YouTube chat. Yeah, I could do that, I believe. Let me, as I try to do this here. Let's see. How do I do that? Maybe I will and maybe I won't. There it is. All right, here we go. All right. I'm going to post the link on there now. And there it is. And let's see. Do I just star it? Yeah, there we go.
Did you get it?
Okay, maybe.
All right, there you go.
I don't know if you're going to be able to click on that or not, but there's the link anyway.
Regardless,
yeah. So. All right, but yeah, if you're listening and not watching, you can definitely get on there and sign up now. All right, let's do it. Let's just go.
One more thing. Another thing we got to plug, got to mention, the reason why we're on at 5:30, and we were kind of planning on doing it at 6:30 or 7, is our alma mater, the Missouri Southern State Lions, the women are in the Sweet 16, playing for a chance to get to the Elite Eight for the first time in the school's history tonight at 7 o'clock. So you and I are going to get this over with so we can tune that in.
Yeah, March Madness for the little schools have already started. And like I said, big game at 7 o'clock tonight, Sweet 16 action. Hopefully Missouri Southern can get the job done. They're on the road. They got to beat Minnesota Duluth tonight. So
yeah, they're only 800 miles away from home. And that's why yours truly isn't there. I would have gone, but that's just a little too far. And the weather, they've had, I think, 12 inches of snow the last couple of days in Duluth, which is nothing up there. But anyway.
But still, that's a lot of snow. So
yeah.
We'll see. Going to be a good game tonight. They've won their first 2. Like I said, they're in the Sweet 16 trying to get the Elite 8 tonight. We'll see if they can get it done. First time in school history, like you mentioned. So that should be fun for sure. But that's why we got to get this done and over with. But we're not going to rush. We've got time. Don't worry. Let's start it. Let's do it. All right, Papa Dude. Let's start in the South. We'll start with the South. These games coming up here are going to be played in Birmingham, Alabama. And we have Alabama. They're going to take on A&M, Corpus Christi, or Southeast Missouri State. Alabama for you in this one, obviously, right?
Right. No doubt.
Okay,
I think we can move to the next one.
Alabama for both of us. That seems to be a little bit of a bye there. I don't think Southeast Missouri State.
One thing I don't understand. I mean, I know why these two teams are playing each other, but they automatically qualified for the tournament by winning their conference tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, they didn't because they got to play a play-in game to get in. That to me, it should be some of these other donkeys, like maybe one of these teams that we're going to do next.
Well, I mean, they're in.
Why? I know why. Their records are not very good. I get that.
Yeah.
But, they fought and went through their tournament and won it, and now they got to play an extra game to get in the tournament that they automatically qualified for, which I don't understand.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care about it arguing over seeding one bit because you're in.
That's true.
Just win now. Doesn't matter. You're in. You're going to have to play good teams eventually anyway. I don't care. You're in.
All right.
Go win. So whoever wins that game, your prize is Alabama, and you will get beat. Maryland and West Virginia. Now, this one is going to be a tight one. West Virginia, Maryland, it's the 8-9 seed. Who you got in this one?
Well, these are two teams that are very similar. They're not real good. I don't have a lot of confidence in Maryland. I think West Virginia is a little tougher. I took the Mountaineers in this one.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one for a while here, and Maryland just doesn't score very much. I'm a little bit worried about that. I don't like West Virginia overall that much. I think they got a good matchup here with Maryland.
Yeah.
I went West Virginia in this game as well. So we're both going to go West Virginia here. All right, let's move on. This is a team you've loved, San Diego State and College of Charleston. Well, actually, both of them you really like.
Yep.
Tough matchup here. Who you got?
This is really one of the hardest ones for me so far through the bracket. I mean, I like them both. San Diego State plays the type of ball that's tough in the tournament. If they can get the tempo, slow it down, they're tough defensively. They're a tough out. 27-6, played in a very good league, very underrated league. They were 1-3 against teams outside of their conference that are in the tournament, but a couple of those teams were pretty high seeds that beat them. So they've played some good people. They didn't just play their conference. College of Charleston is 31-3. They didn't really play hardly anybody in the tournament in the non-conference schedule. So they are a little bit relatively untested. My heart wants Charleston. My head says San Diego State. I'm going to go the Aztecs.
I thought it was a tough draw for Charleston. It's a team I wanted to use to win a game in this tournament, but I don't know about this draw. I think San Diego State is a pretty good 5 seed here. I think they've had a really nice season. I was with you. I wanted to go with it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go San Diego State to beat them. I think they're just a little better.
We both wanted to say before we start, this is not our final bracket. This is what we're thinking at the moment. I could get up tomorrow and totally change my mind. Do you think the fact that it's in Orlando, which is a long haul for San Diego State, I might change my mind? I don't know. Not that far for Charleston to get to Orlando. It's not that far. I don't know if that matters, but
athletically, I don't know that College of Charleston's got enough.
I don't know either. But
that's my worry.
1 games.
That's my worry.
It's a tough one.
All right, let's go on. We both are going to go San Diego State right now. Virginia and Furman. I got a buddy that told me, I think Friday or Saturday, he look out for Furman. I think he thinks they're going to make a little bit of a run. I really like Virginia in this game, though. I think this is a good draw for Virginia. You
said a tough draw for Charleston. I think this is a tough draw for Furman.
Yeah.
Because Virginia is one of those teams, if they can grab the tempo, get it in their favor, play good defense, keep the score low, I think they'll beat them. I looked at Furman's non-conference record. They really haven't played anybody in the tournament. I've got it here somewhere, but it's where is it? I think they're like 0-1. I think they played one team.
Yeah.
No, they're 0-2. They played 2 teams that are in the tournament. They lost to both of them. So they really aren't tested. I like Virginia.
Yeah, I like Virginia as well. I just think they're a better basketball team than Furman. Like you said, maybe if Furman – draws somebody a little bit weaker, they can get the job done. End of the day, though, I think Virginia does win this game. And a pretty chalky start for us here for these first 4. We do have one upset there of that 9 beating an 8, but pretty much like pretty chalky here to start. Let's see if it continues, though, as we go down the bracket and move to the bottom half here of the South. Creighton and North Carolina State, I should say. Creighton and NC State. This is going to be a very interesting game. 6-11 matchup. What do you think about this one?
I'm a little surprised North Carolina State slipped all the way to an 11. They weren't the last team in, but they were close. I'm going to go with Creighton, so I'm going to stay chalky, simply because they had a little hiccup there against, who was it? Xavier beat them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been playing pretty well, and their tournament team, they've been in this a lot. I'm not too high on North Carolina State, so I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
I'm with you. I really like this Creighton team, especially late in the season. I thought they played well, and so yeah, they did have a little hiccup, like you said. But overall, they are a team that I think is going to be pretty tough. Tough out. I think it's a tough draw for North Carolina State. I'll take Creighton as well. We've got a lot of agreement so far. Let's move on now to Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. I thought UC Santa Barbara was a team that could maybe make a little bit of noise, but I don't like the draw of Baylor. I think that's a tough one.
I don't either. I don't like Baylor, though. I really don't. They're playing bad. They've lost 4 out of their last 6. They were playing great, and now they've hit the skids a little. They were terrible in the Big 12 tournament, out in their first game. Santa Barbara comes from a really good league, but hasn't played anybody outside that league. So I'm going to stick with Baylor here. I think a lot of people are picking Santa Barbara, though, as an upset. Don't quite think they got enough. So I'm going to stick with the 3 seed.
Yeah, if you want to pick an upset of a 14/3, it does make a little bit of sense in this situation. But I think Baylor's got too many athletes. I really do. I had to go with the Bears in this situation. All right, Missouri and Utah. A lot of people think this is going to be a good game. A lot of people think it'll be a high-scoring game. I've seen a lot of overs that people are going to play in this one. What do you think, Missouri and Utah? Utah State, I should say.
I love both of them. I think Missouri's underrated a little bit, but they don't guard real well sometimes. I'm going upset here and go with Utah State to upset the Tigers.
Well, we're very similar again. I went with Utah State here in this one as well. As 10-7 matchup. Never can be too big of an upset, but I do think the 10 seed gets through here. I think Utah State gets it done. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Both these teams can score, like you said. I think defensively, Missouri's going to struggle in this one. Give me Utah State. All right, let's move on to Arizona and Princeton to round out the South region. Seems like a pretty easy one to me. I know you really like these Ivy League schools, though. So what do you think?
This is easy. Arizona really impressed me this weekend in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Beat USC, UCLA back-to-back. Pretty tough. I like them. I like them a lot. So I think they're playing their best ball at the right time. So I'm going to Arizona in what should be an easy one.
All right, let's keep going in the South. Let's get all the way to the Final Four, and then we'll go to the next region. So we both have Alabama, obviously, and we both picked West Virginia. So to me, this is a pretty good matchup for Alabama. I didn't really waver. I think Alabama makes it to the Sweet 16. I think they drew pretty well. I think they beat West Virginia. What about you?
Well, on the Daily Show and on our show, we've been discussing Alabama and are they distracted? I think we can throw that out the window. I don't think they are. They walked through a very difficult SEC conference tournament and didn't have any trouble.
Yep.
They're starting to grow on me. I don't think this will be much. I think Alabama beats them.
I'm with you. I think Alabama is going to the Sweet 16 fairly easily. Who will they play? San Diego State or Virginia? What do you think about this one?
I want to pick an upset in this really bad, and I'm going to. I'm not that high on Virginia. I'm going to go ahead for the hell of it and pick San Diego State.
You're going San Diego State. I will go Virginia in this situation. I think they're a little bit more of a tested team in this tournament. I think they're going to get the job done here. I'm not completely high on them, and I think Alabama drawing Virginia in that next round is really good for Alabama. We'll talk about that here in just a second, and you'll talk about San Diego State. But I'll take Virginia, so we'll waver a little bit there. We got Creighton and Baylor. You mentioned how you're not high on the Bears. Do you see an upset in this one?
Creighton. I'm picking them to beat the Bears and move on to the Sweet 16.
I have another upset as well. I got the 6 seed Creighton to beat the Baylor Bears as well. They're my 6 seed to get into the Sweet 16 in this round. Give me Creighton in this game as well. And then, hypothetically, Utah State for both of us versus Arizona.
Arizona. I think that'll be it for the Aggies. I think Arizona's got too much class, too much experience, and they'll get it done.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. I think they'll be able to outscore them where Missouri maybe couldn't have outscored the Aggies or didn't outscore them. I think Arizona will. All right, let's go Now you've got, if it plays out like you think, Alabama versus San Diego State.
Yeah, I don't care if it's Alabama, San Diego State, or Alabama and whoever you want to put from that other side. I think Alabama's got a very easy road to the championship game of this bracket.
Mm-hmm.
I think they beat anybody in that bracket that's with them. So I like them. Like I said, they proved a lot to me this weekend. I like them to go to the final game of the.
I'm pretty strong on Alabama as well. I think they beat Virginia, and if it is San Diego State, I think they do it. I've got Alabama right there in that Elite Eight for sure. The other game, Creighton and Arizona.
I think this will be the end for the Blue Jays too. I've got Arizona into the finals, so I've got 1 and 2 making it all the way to Louisville for the finals.
I'm with you. I think this is going to be a formful region. I think these are the two best teams by far in this region. Give me Alabama. Give me Arizona. I'm with you. I think it's going to be that big matchup. Now, the big thing is who's getting into the Final Four. This should be a classic game.
Well, when you look at this region, other than these two teams, I think it's weak. I don't see a whole lot in this region. I think you got two powerhouses in Alabama and Arizona. And right at this moment, and I could change my mind, I'm going Arizona to beat them. I think I'm going to take Arizona over Alabama to get to the Final Four.
Okay, well, I'm going to take Alabama to beat Arizona. So we
are mine. I tell you, I'm still doing research.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is the region. If you want to pick some upsets in the first round, I think there's some possible ones. You want to pick Charleston. You want to pick North Carolina State, UC Santa Barbara. I think they make sense, but when you get towards the end, I think Alabama and Arizona is going to rise to the top.
I think so too. The thing that worries everybody about Alabama is they don't usually do this,
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you got so much talent, it doesn't matter, that you've never been here before. So
yeah,
it's going to be a heck. If Alabama and Arizona get to the final game, it's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, and like I said, I really think they will. I don't see anybody that can really match up with Alabama as long as they play well. If they have an off night, anybody can get beat in this tournament.
Right.
But yeah, I took the Tide. You're going to take the Wildcats. All right, let's go down to the East now. So we're going to turn the page on the South there. We'll go to the East. I think this one seems pretty crazy to me. We'll see if you agree going forward. Purdue to kick it off, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're not. They should beat this first one. This would be a monumental upset if they don't get to the next game.
Yeah, I agree. Purdue with an easy win there. All right, Memphis and Florida Atlantic. I thought this was a tough one.
It is. I think Memphis is really good. I think they might ought to be seated a little bit higher. Mm-hmm. They're pretty good. 26-8. That's pretty good. Florida Atlantic. I watched that game, their championship game. Man, they look good.
Yep.
So I think they can beat Memphis. They're on a roll. I picked Florida Atlantic in an upset.
These two teams are really playing well coming into this. Give me Florida Atlantic as well. I think Florida Atlantic gets the job done here, gets a mild upset over Memphis in round one. All right, let's go to Duke and Oral Roberts. I thought this was a brutal draw for Oral Roberts. I thought they could make some noise, and then they match up with Duke.
They must have something against them.
Yeah.
You win 30, and your reward is, let's put you opposite Duke.
Yeah.
Don't you know they about crap whenever they saw who they had to play after they did 30 games? I'm with you. I wanted to pick them as a surprise. I can't pick against Duke. I just can't. And Duke is playing great. They're really peaking at the right time. So I went with Duke to win, and I feel sorry for Oral Roberts.
If this was a month ago, I would pick Oral Roberts, but I think Duke is playing too good right now. Yeah. Give me the Blue Devils. I like them a lot in this game. All right, let's move on. Tennessee taking on Louisiana. Tennessee is a team we've kind of been iffy on all year long, but can Louisiana pull an upset here?
This is a dangerous, dangerous game. The Raging Cajuns got athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little undisciplined. Tennessee plays really good defense. They might be able to frustrate them. I just can't take a 13 over a 4. it's tough for me to do. And Tennessee plays in a very tough league. But I tell you, they better be ready to play or they may get ambushed. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Vols.
I'm stuck with the Vols too, but I almost picked an upset in that spot. I think that's going to be a very sneaky game. This Tennessee team's pretty shaky.
I don't like them.
I think they get it done. I think they're in trouble for that next game. All right, let's move on. Kentucky and Providence. This is another one I think could go either way.
Well, Providence is playing awful at the moment. They're tanking it. I don't know what's happened there. I think they overplayed themselves for the first part of the year. So I don't like Kentucky that well either, but I think they beat them. So I'm going to I'm not going to pick Providence. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Wildcats.
All right, Wildcats for you. And will it be a Wildcat versus Wildcat matchup in the second round? Kansas State takes on Montana State.
Every time I pick Kansas State, they knife me in the back. And then they start playing good.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know what to think of them. The Big Sky Conference, where Montana State's out of, is not real strong. So I'm going to pick the Wildcats to get through that first one.
All right. I'm going to go Kansas State as well here to set up that Wildcat versus Wildcat matchup in the second round. Michigan State and USC. I thought this was a very interesting game as well. Two teams that got a little bit of a different side or a different style here. What do you think?
Well, as I sit here 10 minutes till 6 or so, somewhere around there, at this particular moment, I'm going to USC in an upset. I don't like Michigan State at all. The fact the game's in Columbus bothers me just a little bit because I don't know how they travel, but it's not very far down to Columbus. And I would say they'll have some people there. That makes a difference. USC probably won't have anybody. But I'm going to go with the Trojans to upset them.
Michigan State. Give me Michigan State in this game. I just think their experience is going to make a difference here against USC. Give me the Spartans to beat USC. And finally, Marquette and my Vermont Catamounts, 15 seed. Give me a break. We should be an 8 seed or something. What do you think? Vermont, can they shock the world, pull off a big upset here?
Well, sure they can, but they're not going to. So give me the Golden Eagles from Marquette to beat them.
All right, Golden Eagles for me as well. I think it's a 1-point game, though. Vermont loses 65-64. They almost get it done. No, they don't have it.
Okay, they're probably about a 12, 14-point favorite. So you're going to go Vermont plus whatever it is then.
Well, let me look it up here. They play Friday, I think. Let's see what that line is here. Marquette, 11-point favorite for Marquette. Yes, give me the Catamounts.
All right.
Play them tough. Plus 11.
Yeah, I'll play them tough.
All right, let's go on now. We got it to the next round. Purdue is who we both picked against. We both picked Florida Atlantic. What do you think?
I've seen a lot of people getting Purdue beat, whether they're playing Memphis or Florida Atlantic in this game. I'm picking Florida Atlantic. Now, this is going to sound stupid. I'm picking Florida Atlantic to beat Memphis. However, if Memphis beats Florida Atlantic, I could see them beating Purdue, but I can't see Florida Atlantic beating Purdue. Does that make any sense?
No.
I just think – I know that doesn't make any sense, but I just don't think Florida Atlantic would think they could beat them. That's where I'm going with it, where Memphis might think they could. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm taking Purdue to win and move on. They kind of impressed me a little bit this weekend by winning the Big Ten championship. That was a good win for them. So I'm going to pick them to move on to the semifinals.
All right. I begrudgingly did as well. I went Purdue. I think it'll be close, and I'm ready to get them beat, but I'm with you. They're playing pretty darn well right now. Yeah. Give me Purdue to beat Florida Atlantic and get on to the Sweet 16. All right, Duke and Tennessee.
Duke and Tennessee, easy schmeezy for me. Give me the Blue Devils.
Agree. I went Duke as well. I don't think that'll be much of a game. All right, Kentucky and Kansas State.
Easy schmeezy for me. Give me the Kentucky Wildcats.
Me too. I went with Kentucky in that matchup as well. Then finally, let's go you first. You got USC versus Marquette.
I like Marquette a lot. They came through the Big East, and that was a tough couple of days for them. They didn't have a whole lot of trouble. So give me the Golden Eagles to move on.
And I've got Michigan State Marquette, and I will take Marquette once again as well. So I'm with you on that one. All right. Purdue and Duke.
Bye-bye, Boilermakers. I got the Blue Devils to win.
I have the Blue Devils to win as well. And then Kentucky and, let's see. Yeah, we both have Kentucky and Marquette.
Oh, bye-bye, Kentucky Wildcats. I got the Golden Eagles.
Not so fast. Give me Kentucky. Give me that Kentucky. Duke.
I want to pick them. I do too. I want to pick them. I just don't think they're very good.
Kentucky Duke Elite 8 matchup. Give it to me.
That will be. That's for sure.
Yep. All right. We got Duke Marquette for you.
Here's my long shot. Duke Blue Devils to the Final Four as a number 5 seed.
Duke Blue Devils to me as well. I think Duke beats Kentucky, gets to the Final Four. So we both have you've got Arizona Duke in your side, and I've got Alabama Duke.
I might switch to Alabama too. It's a toss-up right at the moment. But right now I'm going Arizona.
All right. Well, let's just do it. I've got Alabama and Duke. I have Alabama making the national championship game. You've got Arizona Duke. Who you got?
I don't think Duke can go all the way, so I'm going to take Arizona.
All right. So you've got Arizona. I've got Alabama. That is one team in the national championship. But let's get to the other brackets.
All right.
Now we go over to the Midwest. Your team, Houston, they got injury problems. Who knows? Maybe he's going to play, maybe not. We'll see. They start with Northern Kentucky. Should be an easy one.
Should be. By the way, I think this bracket's the hardest. Toughest.
I agree.
It's the toughest.
I agree. It's not easy.
No. I like him. I heard Sampson after the game yesterday, and I also heard the kid who's hurt. And I kind of think he could have played yesterday, but they weren't about to risk it because that game didn't mean anything really.
Yeah.
And I heard Sampson say, had we played him and he got hurt worse, he said, I never could have lived but with myself. So that tells me he's progressing.
Yep.
And they talked to the kid, and he said he was a lot better yesterday than he was Saturday. So I could see him maybe holding him out of this game, perhaps. But I tell you, when you get in this tournament, you better not mess around. If he can play, you better play him. So I kind of think he's going to be able to play at least by what is this, a Friday game or what's this? It's Thursday.
It's a Thursday, yeah.
I think by Saturday he will play for sure. So I'm going to Houston, obviously, to win this one.
All right, Houston for me as well. We'll go on Iowa and Auburn. Who you got here?
I think they both suck. I don't like either one of them. Auburn's coach is awful, so I'm going Iowa.
Auburn. Forget about Iowa. They suck. Give me Auburn. Come on.
Auburn sucks.
Well, they do, but they'll beat Iowa. All right, let's go on Miami and Drake. I almost picked an upset here, and I actually ended up doing it. I went Drake.
I think that's a good call. I think Drake's a sneaky team here. If I was having to play them, I would not be looking forward to it. The key to Drake is they got to be hitting the threes. They got to be able to be on. And Miami might be able to defend them a little bit. I think Miami's pretty good too. I think they're a tough 5 seed. I could see them higher. So I went ahead and went with the Hurricanes, but it would not surprise me if Drake wins.
Everybody loves Miami. That's when you get beat.
That's
Everybody thinks this is a sleeper to win the whole thing. Drake, first round, upset. Go Bulldogs. I like Drake in that spot.
I don't think they're a sleeper to win the whole thing.
Well, a lot of people think that that I've listened to in the last couple of days, and it's just like, I don't know about that. All right, let's move on. Indiana, Kent State.
This is my big upset of the tournament. I'm going to State to knock them out. I don't like Indiana at all. They're too up and down. Kent State is 28-6. Take a good look at the MAC and look at some of those records of those teams. Toledo, Ball State, Ohio. Who's the other one? Akron. All won over 20 games. That league's tough. They're 28-6. I think they're not going to ambush them and beat them.
Kent State. Yes. Go Golden Flashes. I like it. I went Kent State as well. I think they beat Indiana. We haven't liked the Big Ten all year.
No.
Especially haven't liked Indiana a lot of the year. Listen, this is a good Kent State team. I think they beat them. I'm with you 100%. And I think I've got Kent State and Drake going in that second round. What everybody wants to see.
It could happen, and that happens a lot in this tournament.
Yeah.
One of these brackets will have a screwed up mess into the semifinals. That's for sure.
And I think it's going to be this one because you got a lot of sleepers that drew pretty well. That's the thing. Like you get Carlton Charleston, I thought had a tough draw. Drake, Kent State, yeah, they got big names. I don't think they're all that good, though, who they're playing. So I'm with you on it. I thought this could be another upset. I may end up picking it, but we don't really know who they're playing yet. Iowa State taking on either Mississippi State or Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and say this. If Mississippi State wins, I'm picking them to beat Iowa State. I'm not real high on Pittsburgh right now. They're kind of tanking it. But I might pick them too. It depends on how they look. You know, you're going to watch this game, say Pittsburgh beats the crap out of Mississippi State, then I'd pick them.
Yep.
I don't like Iowa State at all. They got to be shooting the three ball. If they're not, you can beat them. And, I mean, they're not real good in this tournament traditionally either. And I think Mississippi State's a little they're pretty tough. They really are.
I'm with you. I think if it's Pittsburgh, I'll take Iowa State. If it's Mississippi State, I'm taking Mississippi State. I've picked Mississippi State to win round one, whatever you want to call that. Give me the Bulldogs. I'm with you on that. Obviously, that could change pending the results on Tuesday night.
And they don't play till Wednesday night, Mississippi State and Pittsburgh. So
right. So we don't know yet who they're going to be. So it's kind of tough to pick that one. Let's just say it's Mississippi State for now. Right. Put an asterisk by that one. We don't really know what's going to happen there. All right. Xavier against Kennesaw State.
Well, I like Xavier a lot. And Kennesaw didn't really play anybody. They did beat Liberty, though, and Liberty was pretty good in that conference. I got Xavier going. I'm pretty high on them. I think they win.
Throw up the X. Give me Xavier. I like Xavier in that game as well. A&M, interesting team. We like a 7 seed. Penn State, a team we really haven't liked. What do you think about this one?
Well, Penn State's playing fantastic.
I know.
They got in the tournament. A&M is vastly underrated, in my opinion. So I got to go with the Aggies.
I went with the Aggies as well. I think they're gonna take care of business against Penn State. And finally, Texas against Colgate. The toothpaste has a basketball team, and they'll take on Texas.
Has a basketball team with 26 wins.
Right.
That's not bad. God, I hate to say this. Texas is starting to grow on me. That hurts me to say that. But they looked fantastic in the Big 12 tournament. So, yes, I got the Longhorns.
All right, Longhorns for me as well. All right, let's go back to it. You've got Houston and Iowa. What do you think about this one?
Easy, Houston. I've
got Houston and Auburn. I think they'll beat Auburn by 20.
It won't even. Yes. I'm not going to go. I don't need to go any farther.
Miami for you against Kent State.
I thought you picked them too.
No, I picked Drake.
Oh, Drake. Yeah, okay. Miami and Kent State. This is tough. I've been on the Miami bandwagon all year, so I got to pick them. I think they're pretty good.
Give me the Drake. Never doubt the Drake. Drake Bulldogs beat Kent State. Drake's into the Sweet 16.
Into the Sweet 16. That will be a good thing for Houston if that happens.
That's right. All right, we'll go on now. Mississippi State, Xavier.
I think Xavier is pretty darn good, so I like them.
I agree. How about this matchup?
That's a good one.
Texas A&M and Texas. Let's hope it happens. Who you got if it does?
Where's that at? Is that in Des Moines? Yeah.
Let's see. It says over here. Yeah, Des Moines.
Yeah. Here they go all the way to Iowa to play. They're pretty close together. They hate each other. Oh, man, this is going to be a war. I've got to take Texas. I think they're just a little bit better than A&M.
Yep. I agree. I think Texas is better, and I think that is a horrific draw for A&M. I think,
Oh, I do too.
honestly, if you look at it, if A&M matched up against, let's say, a 2-seed Marquette, I think
Yes.
A&M could beat them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think they can beat Texas.
No, I think it's just a terrible matchup for them. I think they're underseeded. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, you finish second in the SEC and you get a second round date with Texas.
Yeah.
That's kind of a slap in the face.
Say they could have moved up to a 6 seed and they would have matched up with a 3 seed. Let's just say hypothetically,
Yeah.
I think A&M beats Baylor.
Oh, no doubt. Kansas
I think A&M beats Kansas State. I think A&M could beat Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think they could beat Xavier too.
I think they could beat Xavier, yeah. But you get the 7, and now you got to match up Texas. I don't think they can beat them.
And say they were the 7 in these other ones too. You had UCLA, you had Arizona. Who's the 2?
Well, Marquette.
Yeah, they might be able to beat them, maybe.
UCLA, possibly. I think that
Yeah.
they're kind of a tough team, but I don't think they could beat them. Arizona, maybe, but
Maybe. I don't think so, though.
anyway, I think it's going to go with the Longhorns here. All right, for you, it's Houston versus Miami.
Yes.
What do you think?
Houston versus Miami. Got to go with the Cougs to make it through.
I think that's a team they could handle if Miami is the team. Drake, I think that's where Drake's run ends for me. I will go Houston, and then we both have Xavier and Texas.
You know, we were talking about the draw that Houston gets.
Mm-hmm.
I think they came out of it in good shape if they're healthy. You know what I mean? There could have been a team in that up there that would give them a lot more trouble than what they're going to have to go through, I think.
Yes.
I think Miami would be the one maybe that gives them the most trouble, but there's not that type of team we're looking for, like A&M.
Right.
Oh, that's the type that gets them in the first round or second round that really give them trouble.
Yeah.
So I think they came out of it good. So what do we got here? We got Xavier and
Texas.
Oh, God. I got to take Texas. I just think they're a little bit better. I think they can slow them down a little bit. I'll be rooting my ass off for Xavier, though.
I think it's a toss-up. I think Texas beats them, though. I do.
I think they do, too. I think they're just a little better.
And this sets up an old Southwest Conference matchup, two teams that don't like each other, Houston and Texas, for a shot at the Final Four. This is another game I hope it happens because it'll be a war if it does.
Oh, God.
Who you got? Who you going to take here? Who's making it?
You know, so much of this depends on if this kid's healthy or not, you know, and if he stays healthy. When you got a groin pull, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You could injure it some more. This is in Kansas City, so that doesn't matter for either one of these teams. I don't know. I kind of think Texas is better. I do, but I'm going Houston because that's who I want to win.
I think Houston gets it done. I think they can beat them. I think Sampson will be able to beat Texas, and I think he can kind of slow them down and expose them. Probably isn't the right word, but I think he can beat them. So I win Houston. I wouldn't be surprised either way on that one, though. It's going to be something to see.
Yeah,
that is the matchup. All right, let's go to the final bracket. We'll head out to the West here, and we'll start with Kansas and Howard. Should be a pretty easy one to start.
Yeah, the Jayhawks should have no trouble in that one.
Yeah, Jayhawks with ease there. This is a great opening round game. Arkansas and Illinois. Who you got here?
Talked a long time to my brother today and your uncle and about Arkansas and to get the lowdown on them a little bit. And he thinks there's all kinds of internal problems on them. They're not getting along. You know, they have really been disappointing.
Yep.
But I don't like Illinois at all. And I think Arkansas is better than they are. The problem's going to be, are they having internal problems? The thing with them is they don't shoot the ball very well. So, you know, you can lose anytime you take the floor. You don't shoot very well. And they don't finish games. They've been ahead in games a lot and lost them.
Yep.
But I'm going to take them in this one because I don't think Illinois is very good.
I'm with you. I took Arkansas because I don't like Illinois all that well. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I mean, it's a pretty pretty wide open game one way or the other. We'll see if we think they can, either one can kind of challenge Kansas, but I will go Arkansas in the first round. All right, St. Mary's and VCU.
Here's another upset for me. I'm going VCU to upset St. Mary's. St. Mary's has got to go all the way across the country to Albany, New York to play. I think that means something. I don't think they're that good. They're okay. VCU's playing great. They're playing great. They're in an underrated league that probably should have got 2 teams in, didn't. So give me VCU to beat the Gales from St. Mary's.
I think it's an easy game for VCU. I think they'll win, and I don't think it'll be close. Give me VCU easy in this one. All right, UConn and Iona.
Was really on UConn's bandwagon, and they got beat. Was it Marquette that beat them? I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that surprised me, but I think they're okay. They were due to lose one. Iona is pretty good, but they don't play in a very good league. So I think UConn's got way too much talent and size and they'll beat them.
Yeah, give me UConn in this one as well. I just think Iona, Patino's done a good job, but they don't have the talent level to beat a team like UConn. All right, we don't know who TCU is going to play. It'll either be Arizona State or Nevada. So that makes it kind of tough. I'm going to go out and go ahead and say I'm taking TCU no matter who it is, pending what we see out of these two teams. But what do you think?
I don't like Nevada very well. Arizona State's sneaky good. I'm with you. I'm not high on TCU, though. Not really. I just think they're probably a little tougher, maybe a little more physical. I got to be honest. I haven't seen Arizona State a whole lot. I did watch Nevada the other night. I can't remember who they were playing in a game. I can't remember. They were playing somebody and they really needed to win it, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're very good. I think Arizona State's going to beat them. So
I'm kind of with you. I have seen Nevada a few times. Wasn't that impressed. I haven't seen Arizona State hardly at all, and that's why I really want to watch their game against Nevada, because for whatever reason, it's so easy to watch games and teams now. So we've seen a lot of these teams because of ESPN Plus, right? But for whatever reason, I just have not seen Arizona State hardly at all.
What it is, I haven't seen Arizona much, and I think it's because they're on so late.
Yeah.
And I can't stay up, or I've been watching basketball all night long. I'm sick of it, and I don't want to watch another one. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's kind of that last one here. So I'm taking TCU. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this Arizona State team. I'll definitely have to watch that one for sure. All right, let's go on with Gonzaga and Grand Canyon. What do you think about this one?
Grand Canyon is surprised. Got through the WAC. 24-11. I watched them a little bit the other night in a game. Not bad. Pretty good team. Gonzaga's playing really well. A lot of people think they're going to go to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of them, but I do think they win this one.
Yeah, I think they beat Grand Canyon, and I think things will get interesting after that, but I do think they beat Grand Canyon in this spot. All right, Northwestern against Boise State.
Northwestern's kind of tanking it like we thought they would. They've had a great year. I think they're a little highly rated. I'm going upset, going Boise State to win it.
I got Boise State in an upset as well. I think it's a good spot for Boise State. They got a great draw. Finally, UCLA and UNC Asheville.
UCLA. They've just got too much. I've made a little money on UNC Asheville this year, but I don't think they're good enough to beat UCLA. So I'm going the Bruins.
Yeah, this UNC Asheville team isn't bad, but I think UCLA is way too good for them. All right, Kansas, Arkansas. We'll start the second round here. What do you think?
Well, if Arkansas was playing a little better, I think they could give them some problems, and I think they will. Arkansas might be one of those teams that turns it on when they get to this tournament. I mean, they have talent. They've got good players. And, they could, but normally when you see a team that's 20-13, there's a reason. They got some issues of some kind, and they're not very good. I mean, had a losing record in the SEC. That's not a good sign. So because of that, I got to go with Kansas. but they kind of pissed me off in the Big 12 tournament the other day, so I'm kind of mad at them.
Yeah, they did not play very well against Texas, that's for sure. I'll go Jayhawks, though. I'm with you. Arkansas, here's the deal. It's really hard to turn it on just for this tournament.
It is.
Boy, I just don't think they can do it. I'm going to go Kansas. I just don't think Arkansas is quite good enough to be
right.
done.
They haven't shown that they can put together a string.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
nope.
they win one and you think, okay, that was a good win, and then they end up they lose the next one. So and they lost a couple of games in Fayetteville that they don't usually lose. Those kind of games. There's some issues going on there, so I can't take them against Kansas.
They have been very good in this tournament the last couple of years, so.
But their team's been better too.
This is true.
So, I mean, these are I would hate to play them in the second round. You know, if I was Kansas, I would. Where's that game at? I can't.
This one would be in where are we at here? In Des Moines.
Okay, well that'll be.
No, yeah, Des Moines. Yeah,
that'll be Kansas Central up there. That's not very far for them to travel.
They're not going to beat them. It's that simple. They could play in Fayetteville. They're not going to beat them. I'm sorry.
I don't think so either.
All right, let's go on. Virginia Commonwealth up against UConn.
I think UConn will have just a little bit too much talent for them, a little more physical, playing a more physical league, and I think they'll get them. But I think this will go down to the wire. This is going to be a close one. So I'm going to go with UConn.
Yeah, I went with UConn as well, but I'm not confident on it. That VCU team is solid, so we'll see what happens there. All right, TCU for both of us versus Gonzaga.
Kind of team that gives Gonzaga fits. TCU does. Very well coached, very disciplined, very physical, very tough. This could be an upset. I'm tempted to take the Frogs, but I think Gonzaga's got too much talent.
I'm the same. I like Gonzaga, but I think it's going to be very close. I'm not sold on that TCU team enough, so I went with Gonzaga. Finally, Boise State, UCLA. I like UCLA a lot in this one.
By the way, I think it was CBS I was watching yesterday. I think it was, I can't think of his name. What is his name? Anyway, he called them the Froghorns. Did you? Now, he might have been trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He called them the Froghorns. It was, God, I can't think of the guy's name. Elmore, no. What is
That's good.
Name? That was funnier, Nick. They were making fun of him on Twitter, but I have a feeling maybe he was being funny.
I doubt it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Is it Lynn Elmore? No. What is that guy's name? Bigger.
I have no, like, you could say any name. I'm not going to know him.
Well, he played in the NBA. Okay, who's the next one?
We're in. Well, you didn't pick UCLA or Boise State.
Oh, that's the next game. That's what I wanted to know. What the next game was? UCLA.
UCLA. All right, yeah. Let's go now to the Sweet 16. Foghorn Leghorn is what I thought of when you said that.
Yeah, he called them the Froghorns.
All right, let's go on. Kansas State and Kansas State. Now you've got me all messed up. Kansas or UConn as we get into the Sweet 16.
Well, this is trouble, Kansas Jayhawks. Yeah. You know what, though? If they get this far, they usually win. You know, this is where they start to play better. They're better than UConn, and I think they'll get them. It's in Vegas, so that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go the Jayhawks to beat the Huskies.
I went with the Jayhawks as well. If it comes down to Kansas, UConn, Gonzaga, UCLA, I mean, wow, you can't get a better region than that.
It's a tough region.
That's what we've got here. I went the Jayhawks, but again, not overly confident in that one. And then Gonzaga and UCLA.
Well, I think Gonzaga might be a little more talented. I like the way UCLA plays. These are the kind of teams that beat Gonzaga because they can stop them.
Yep.
And they don't play very good defense. Worries me a little bit about UCLA. I don't know what the injury status is on their guy that's been out. They haven't played as well. I would think, unless it's something serious, he'd be getting ready to get back because he's been out quite a while.
It seems like same situation like in Houston. They just rested him for that tournament.
It could be.
I think he'll play.
Yeah, I'm going UCLA.
I went UCLA as well. I think that's a really good matchup for UCLA because of what you said. I think they can stop them. I think they play defense, and I think they get them in a half-court game, and that's what you want to do with them. All right, final game, Kansas, UCLA.
Well, I know where you're going, and I totally can see why. This is a total toss-up game, no question about it. It's one of those that you'd like to see how they were playing going into this game, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't know that. That's what makes this bracket so maddening. You know, we don't know how they're going to be playing going into this game. Kansas could blow these three teams out, and you say, oh, wow, or vice versa. So it comes down to just, you know, who's playing the best, who comes through in the end. You're going UCLA, and I'm going to go Kansas, and it can go either way.
Yeah, I'll stick with UCLA. I think they're going to get there. I just really like this team, so I'm going to stick with them to beat the Jayhawks. All right. So your Final Four matchup will be Kansas and Houston. Who you got?
Houston.
So that will be Houston, Arizona. That's your championship game, correct?
No.
Did
I pick Arizona over Duke?
Yes.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes. Arizona, Houston.
Okay. Don't pick it yet. Hold on. I've got UCLA in Houston. I'm going UCLA. Okay. I think that's the team that can slow down Houston and beat them because I think they're going to play the same. And
that's true.
The reason I like UCLA, I believe if they need to win a game 80-79, they can do it. And I believe if they need to win a game 60-59, they can do it.
I agree.
So
I
like Houston in that spot. So.
No, you like UCLA.
I mean, I like UCLA. That's what I meant. I like UCLA. You got me all screwed up. All right.
That's what this bracket does.
Arizona and Houston. That's your matchup. Who's winning the national championship?
Houston's going to win the national championship. Kelvin Sampson's going to get the championship he deserves, and he will retire after the win.
Wow. All right. So you're going with the Cougars. You're sticking with them. I've got UCLA, Alabama in the final. I know Truth Exposed is a huge Alabama fan. I got them all this way. I'll go UCLA. And it's nothing against Bama. It's nothing against them. I've just thought UCLA is the team to beat for the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. I think they're going to do it. I got UCLA cutting down the nets. Give me UCLA, and I don't think Cronin's going to retire, though, like Sampson is going to, as you said. I think he'll be back.
I think Kelvin's – I think if he wins it, I think he'll retire. I think this is what he's hanging on for. I mean, he obviously loves to coach.
How old is he, though? I don't think he's that old, is he?
Listen, he's been around a long time. He's probably – I'd say he's getting close to 70. Mm-hmm. And he's got back problems, and he's got asthma. He's got some health issues, unless he's done something about that over the years. And I kind of think he thinks this is the best team he's ever had, just from some of the things he said.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He may hang in there because they're going into the Big 12. I don't know, but I think this is their best chance. I really do. Yeah, that's who I'm rooting for. They are really good. They really are.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're going to be a tough out. There's no doubt about it. And Jason looked up. He's 67. So, yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a couple of years older than him, and there ain't no way I could coach. I don't care how good a shape I got myself in. I just don't. The wear and tear, the coaching is so hard nowadays.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You've got this transfer portal and all this crap. You don't know what they're going to do. Who you're going to make mad. You just don't know.
No.
You got a whole new roster every year. It's tough.
It is tough. It's very tough for sure. We'll see. I think Alabama over on that other side, I think they got a great draw. They're going to get there. I think Houston, it's going to be a little bit tougher road, but I think they can. I thought the West was the toughest bracket. That's just murder.
I think the West and then the one Houston's in is really, really tough. And I thought the one, Purdue?
I thought it was easiest.
The Alabama one, other than the fact Alabama's in there with Arizona,
Yeah.
it's pretty daggum tough.
Yeah.
And I may change my mind and pick Alabama. I really like them. I think they're very good. They've got a lottery pick. The kid, no matter what you think about what his problem, I mean, he's good.
He's a good player.
He is a great player.
Yep.
And Kansas has got a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's got a bunch of really good ones. The thing with Purdue, I've watched them a little. I just think you can shut that big guy down,
mm-hmm.
and then they're in trouble.
I agree with Truth on this. Alabama, great coach.
He has done a fantastic job down there for sure.
Look, like you said earlier, no matter what you think about whatever happened, this or that, to keep them kind of focused and not losing it, that's pretty impressive.
I've thought an awful lot about that too. The kid hasn't been charged.
No, I know. Yeah.
With anything. And I find that a little strange.
It is strange.
From just on the outside looking in and everything we've heard, you would have thought he would have been charged for something, and he hasn't. So there might be more to this than what we know. He may be innocent. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't know how he possibly could be, but I don't understand why he hasn't been charged with an accessory to the crime or whatever. I don't know.
As far as I'm concerned, he's innocent as far as my betting goes. And so if he's playing, he's innocent.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
He's out, he's guilty.
I'll tell you one thing. He has not let it bother his play one bit.
No, he's been great.
That makes me think he's innocent in his own mind anyway, because if I was guilty of that and I thought I was going to get charged, I wouldn't be playing that good.
No, I would be worried, but
I'd be thinking I'm going to go to jail is what I'd be thinking. So
it's funny, since we've done the sports betting, we got into that a few years ago, bringing you on and stuff. Like, I'll get messages, somebody texts me, like, why do you hate Team X, or why do you hate my team? And it's like, I don't hate your team. I just hate them this week because I didn't bet them. It's like, I don't care who wins these games as long as my bet wins. There's
a few teams I hate. Now, I will say this. I hate every football team, every single one. Now, I don't like anybody but Oklahoma.
I like whoever I bet.
And I hate them right now. But basketball, I don't really hate any of these teams because OU's not a basketball power.
Yeah.
But I find when Cincinnati made that run a couple years ago, I rooted for them.
Yeah.
But I hate Alabama and I hate Georgia and I hated TCU. I hate everybody.
Shotty says, "Hey, I hate Barber Road because I don't bet him."
I'll say this, Shotty. You are loyal to Barber Road. He
is.
Usually you're not loyal to something that never wins. You finally lose the loyalty.
Did you happen to watch him this week?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
He had it. Matt and I were watching it off air right before.
I thought he was going to win.
We were watching it and we were like, I'll be damned. Look at this. He's going to win and he's going to look good. And then that whole stretch, it's like, is he ever going to get there to the wire? And nope. Got beat.
I know. He is a pretty horse. I will say that. He's a very.
He is, but he just
no demand. There's a lot of pretty horses.
For sure. All right. Before we get off here, we did have one question. Let's see. Where did that go? I wanted to talk hockey. Where did that go? Jason asked. Said that anyway, I don't see it, but the puck drops here real quickly for a few games. He asked about the Sabres and the Leafs tonight. I'll take the Leafs, but it's minus 250. So
it's in Toronto, right?
Yeah, it's in Toronto. Not much you can do with that. I think the Leafs win it. Over under 7, and it's probably about right. These two teams can score.
Yeah.
If you want to play a hockey game, I took a shot with the Kraken at plus money tonight against the Stars. It's in Seattle.
It's in Seattle.
2 nights ago, the Stars did win, but it was in overtime. We've talked about Stars play a lot of overtime games. I think for the Kraken get them back tonight. I think Seattle's was plus 105 last I saw.
I would take Seattle. I think.
Let's see what they are now. Yeah, they're still at plus 105. So
I like Seattle a lot in that one.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good game. So, All right. Any final thoughts before we log off?
No, I don't know when our next show is, but my bracket might totally be different than what I just said.
Yeah, I know. It could be completely different. Definitely wanted to get this in. We'll see. We might do another Monday show next week as well.
Are we doing one Thursday?
I don't think we need to do one Thursday.
Probably not. Unless we
now, Daily Show, be sure to watch the Daily Show all week. You know, it's fun to do the brackets and all that, but the more fun, well, not the more fun, but the more profitable for me is to play these games one day at a time. So we talk about the point spreads of all these games and stuff like that on the Daily Shows. So that'll be fun as well. These
brackets are impossible. Yeah. They're just impossible to pick 64 games, however many there are. It's impossible. It's you just don't know. You don't know how these teams are going to progress from round to round. You don't know.
No.
And one bad game and your bracket's ruined. So
yeah, exactly. And you know, if Duke loses to Oral Roberts, which isn't impossible.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oral can beat them. And if they do, well, there's a Final Four team out in day one for me. So
exactly. So
and like you mentioned with the Kansas UCLA matchup, if that ends up happening, you may have a totally different thought the day that game goes than you do right now.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. It really is. But that's what makes it fun and impossible.
Exactly. All right. Before we get off here, let's see what we've got. Looks like we've got 38 people now signed up. So,
you know, real quick, I knew a guy once, and all he did was pick the favorites. He never picked an upset at all. Just went with the seeds. Now, this has been 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He won it 2 years in a row in the contest I was in. So then everybody got mad at him. So they made him to where we had a rule where you had to pick one upset per bracket. I thought that was ridiculous. Some guy was doing what he was, they got mad because he won 2 years in a row. So we had to pick one upset per bracket. But anyway, I've thought about doing that before. Just pick the favorites. See what happens.
Sometimes, like especially when you get into the late round games, it could really get chalky. Yeah. And so what could happen is you pick an upset, and then that of like a 3 or 4 seed, and they get kind of farther, and you end up missing 4 or 5 games out of it. So I mean, if you want to play your 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, play those pretty chalky. That probably makes sense. But last year, it did not make sense. Last year was nuts.
And you can listen to experts, that are on the ESPN and CBS and all those people. They miss just as many as we do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's impossible. You just don't know. Don't.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, guys. That is it. That is all we've got for today. Go Lions tonight. Yes, 7:00. Now 23 minutes away, or 27 minutes away from the Lions in Minnesota Duluth. If you're up in the Minnesota Duluth area, go to the game, support the Lions tonight.
Yeah, I doubt if you can get in though.
Well, I bet you could. I've been watching. There's like 5 people at these games.
Not when Minnesota plays.
Well, that's true. The home team is playing tonight.
Yeah, it's packed whenever they're there, so it'll be tough. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Hopefully the Lions get it done tonight. So
it's going to be double tough, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. We will see you on Dudes Who Bet Daily coming up Wednesday through Sunday this week. Also, Blinkers Off and Magic Mike coming up as well. So a lot on the channel as usual. We'll be right here for you guys. We'll see you next time.
This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.